too much strain and there would be too many disharmonious energies. You can use this system for anything. Like you look at in a menu of food, it's good because people don't know you're dowsing. You say, okay, what should I eat? I'm going to go down the menu. Should I have fish? Should I have chicken? Should I have beans and rice? Oh, okay, beans and rice. Should I have hot sauce? Nah. Should I have, can I add salt to this food? No. Okay, can I add black pepper? Oh, okay. See, I didn't word that correctly though, did I? But I thought it correctly. I should have said, is it congruent with my physical health to add black pepper? Yes. Is it congruent with my physical health to add cayenne pepper? No. Is it congruent with my physical health to eat some turkey, which is like a buzzard? You know, most turkeys don't have that great of energy. They're kind of like buzzards. Okay, is it congruent to eat turkey? No. Is it congruent to eat lamb fries? No. Is it congruent to drink a beer out of a boot at Cattleman's Cafe? Yes. Is it congruent to drink two beers out of a boot at Cattleman's Cafe? Yes. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Is it congruent to drink 3 beers out of a boot at Cattleman's Cafe? No. Oh, darn. Well, I better slow down then. See, so the idea is you learn to train your body to detect signals, and doing this, if that's all you do, you can even douse numbers this way, but it's a lot slower than using a pendulum. Do not be afraid to use a pendulum because it's a very good tool to magnify your dowsing. If you're very slow to learn to douse, get an aura meter. It's well worth the investment. If you train yourself to determine kind of silly things in a way, like what color to wear, believe me, you'll feel a lot stronger if you wear a color congruent with you. Like you could say, how congruent is it for Laura to wear that shade of red today? It's 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80. 80% congruous with her health of body, mind, and soul. Very good. How congruous is it for Lance to wear that kind of reddish orange shirt over there? Let's see, it's 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. That's pretty darn good. Okay, how congruous is it for Maureen to wear that blue outfit there today for her health and balance of body, mind, and soul? 10, 20, 25, 30, 35%. So see, it's not real congruous for you to wear. Now, what about Will? How congruous is it for Will? How congruent is it for Will's balance of body, mind, and soul to wear that particular shade, which kind of defies, is it a greenish? Green? Okay. How congruent is it for Will to wear that shade of green today for his appropriate balance, color balance of body, mind, and soul? 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%. Now, how congruent for Will's health would it be for him to wear orange? Less 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. Okay, how about red? How congruent would it be for Will to wear red? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 70. Okay, how about magenta? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay, I suspect there's a shade. Oh, okay, how about a salmon color? Kind of a salmon orange, kind of similar to Lance's shirt. Okay, well, how about that? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%. So see, I know the exact shade to be sort of a salmon or a kind of a shade of orangey red. And it'd be really good and strengthening. To have subtleties of color are extremely important for your environment and for you. They affect your balance, and dowsing them is a good way to train yourself. Once you start training yourself to determine whether a color or a food is healthy for you, is beneficial for your physical body, then you can start determining what is beneficial for you, for your mental body and your spiritual bodies. Like how beneficial is it for you to go out with a group of people? How balancing will it be for your physical, mental, or spiritual bodies? Will it be neutral? Will it be negative? Will it be beneficial? If beneficial, how beneficial? What percentage of benefit would you get on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 to 100%? So as you see, dowsing can be used for many things. It can be used to determine the disharmonies in our bodies. We know now that dowsing is merely the magnifying of subtle body movements using certain tools that just enhance the subtle body movements. The subtle body movements are energized by the subconscious mind, which has a link with higher self or universal mind. And by understanding those secret signals that come from universal mind to the subconscious, to the muscles, and then are translated in the language of dowsing, we then gain a great deal of power, because we then are able to tap into secrets and mysteries of Akasha that we cannot readily do in our physical body under normal circumstances. In fact, a person is generally not accurate if he says, oh, I see your aura, it's got a lot of purple in it today, and I see the word hate written out across it. See, the thing about it is, in dealing with Akasha, the way that Akasha and the way that spiritual sight manifests has to do with one's ability to detect resonance or non-resonance, and that's a form of dowsing. It's like going in a maze and or walking in corridors at night. In order to be in material form, you have to be blind to the other dimensions, or you'd go crazy. If you had 31 sets of eyes that were always looking into different worlds, you would go crazy. What you've got to do is have a primary focus on one world in order to handle, in order to walk around and function. In order to access the other worlds, though, you do it by dowsing, because what dowsing does is it causes you to recognize resonance versus non-resonance. Like, say, you're walking in a corridor, it's dark. You know you hit one wall, you got to move to the left. Okay, eventually you'll hit the other wall, you move to the right. Okay, then you find a doorway. Okay, you walk. You're like a blind person in these other dimensions. So what you want to do is you eventually learn through trial and error how to walk in the middle of the corridor and find the doorways. And then you'll suddenly feel a cool breeze. You'll know there's a door, there you go. You learn to function as a blind person in the worlds that you cannot focus your primary attention if you want to stay in this physical form. If you tried to focus 100% of your attention in one of the other dimensions, you might disintegrate this form by spontaneous combustion. So what you want to do is be able to access them and access the Akasha records without frying, optimally. And the way to do that is through dowsing. Dowsing is a far more accurate method of retrieval of information when done by a virtuous person than many other forms of mystical awareness. Dowsing is not channeling. It has nothing to do with spirits. It has to do with your natural ability to perceive harmony versus disharmony. All dowsing is your body recognizing the presence of disharmonious energy and learning how to get back on the path to harmony. And this is the key to the transmutation of all darkness in our world. For that reason, dowsing is one of the primary tools that mankind has that can train him in the mystical worlds. In the East, meditation for long periods of time is customary. In the West, people have a very hard time meditating for long periods of time because it is not the Western way. Right now, we have a real thrust toward doing rather than being. You know, it used to be, we worked a lot about just be here now. You know, you hear a lot of the systems and just accepting and just being here and meditating and holy thoughts and all that. We're in a time now of active participation in the saving of our planet from destruction. And this involves a person's ability to spiritually discern, to understand disharmony versus harmony. Dowsing is the fastest way to do this on the planet today. And the only method that will clear certain dark forces that are now manifesting on the planet is the World Radionics Broadcast System, or the little mobile box. The reason for that is that the exorcism methods that have been used by all religions and philosophies, philosophical groups over the world, did not predict the current state that the world has gone into. We are now in an earth crisis. So we have disharmonies now that were not in the probable future. And so the systems are not prepared to deal with it. The meticulous use of dowsing the exact ratio and blocking it from our world is the only way at this time that will clear it. I have personally checked all of the major leaders of all of the metaphysical and religious systems of this world, either by picture or by tuning into them through other methods. And I can tell you that every system I have checked, there was contamination. Every system. And the reason is because they could not predict this. And what has happened is alien energies from other worlds have contaminated ours. And so the religious systems are not equipped to deal with those energies. So that is why the only form of exorcism that will clear all types of disharmony right now is this system. Now, many exorcisms, like the standard Linda Blair variety, can be cleared with classic Catholic exorcism at great expense to the priest. I can guarantee you that what would take a priest 2 weeks, like in a Linda Blair case, of a hard work, sweat, and physical danger, can be done in your living room with this system in 5 minutes. Well, it might take 30 if you have a lot of numbers to put on. And at no physical energy loss to the exorcist, other than swinging your arm a little bit, and that's not going to wear you out too bad, unless you do it 16 hours a day like I do sometimes. But this dowsing is so safe a method that it saves energy on you, and then you're able to do a lot more good in the world. And that's what we're all here for. The problem with a lot of people is they want something done easier for them, or they want to stick with their same system even though it doesn't work. And how are you going to know when it doesn't work? It doesn't work if you can't sleep right, if you're depressed, hostile, or sick. Obviously, there's something rotten in Denmark if you're depressed, hostile, insomniac, sick. You've got to figure there's something wrong. And if there's something wrong, then maybe what you're doing isn't working. And if something doesn't work, try something different. If you always remember that, if something doesn't work, try something different, then you're going to find success in happiness, strength, joy, and the ability to be an active participant on our planet in order to help save our planet from the imminent destruction. And I know that's, don't put it in the ether, some metaphysical people say. It's already there. I'll tell you that unless mankind gets busy with methods such as these, then the planet will not survive another 20 years or so. But I believe that if just a few people would clear up disharmonies, then the whole karmic destiny of the planet would be gone, would be healed. It's like the karmic destiny, every number that you put on this world diagram is removed from the whole planet forever, and all of the dark energies that are patterns of that are gone too. Every time you clear one entity off yourself, you're clearing it off 1,000 other people. Believe me, it's remarkable. So for that reason, you can't just think pretty thoughts and then you get covered with entities. I'm just going to look at the bright side. I'm going to raise my vibrations above it. If you think you're going to do that, you're going to suffer, I guarantee you. You're going to suffer because just raising your vibrations is not going to do any good. A lot of these entities have vibrations higher than you, and they're still making your life hell. So what you got to do is you got to first identify when there's disharmony, and you do that by dowsing. Your body gives you clues. You start noticing, do I have nausea? Am I having trouble sleeping? Do I feel agitated? Am I depressed? Depression. Every case of depression is due to entities, I can guarantee you. Now there's grief from losing a loved one. That's different than depression. Agitation. When kids get wild, you can just be sure there's dark forces in the house. Almost every case of illness, say 75% of all illnesses have the roots in the spiritual realm with entities and other things. So first you've got to learn your body signals. The dimensions have signals over your body. You learn the signals, then you clear it by dowsing the number, putting it in the Star of David, which is inside a circle, and the Star of David must be drawn exactly like we have it in the literature available by Right Hand Press. If it's drawn incorrectly, you can do damage. One guy wrote me, he said, what about all those pentagrams? It's not pentagrams, these are Stars of David, they're Seals of Solomon. They're classical exorcism tools. So you have your, you put it on your map, oriented the correct direction, you put it in the dark, you orient the whole thing correctly in a quiet place, and then you have helped, you have made one step in a 5-minute thing or less, you have removed a dark force from the whole planet that might impact thousands of people. You know, that's not such a small thing. It beats thinking cheerful thoughts. It beats looking on the bright side while your brother next door is being beat up by a bunch of thugs. You know, it's not right to be just looking at the bright side when our planet's going down the tube.